So that brings it down to £50, and in fact, if you book today, I would charge you just 30 quid for that second session of the treatment, and I'll throw in a free backup audio cassette tape that normally costs an additional £20, so you're actually saving a grand total of £90 on what that would all totally normally cost you. And I converted pretty much 9 out of 10 people that called on that, because they felt like they were getting a free session and a discount on the session that they were paying for, and a free gift of the backup audio tape. Whereas the truth is, the end result is I ended up with literally well over 100 clients booked in within 3 days of this going to print that were paying me £30 sterling each. Yes, I had to see them twice, so that meant I was only getting £15 a session. But given that some therapists in the area were charging as little as £25 and they'd been at it for 20, 30 or more years, and I truly was, although the paper said I was 18, I was actually only 14, and I was getting £15 a session to practice my craft and get good at it. Not bad at all, I think you'll agree. Now, in more recent years, I get my students to do pretty much the same thing, except we're talking about the fact that they advertise they're charging £100 sterling minimum, sometimes up to £250 sterling per session, and the free session bit comes in from a slightly different angle, in so much as they're only offered a free session if they attend a group session, so that they're a member of an audience. And I'm going to teach you how to conduct group sessions. It's going to be tomorrow. I'm just looking at the time, and we've got about just under half an hour till our first break, well, our only break today before the second session. But I will teach you how to do group sessions, so you can offer, and you can get a room full of people who are there free from the publicity you've got from the local paper. But all of them, by the way I'll teach you, will feel or want to buy the backup audio compact disc package that normally costs £100 odd on your website, which they can verify there and then. But if they buy it on the day, they can get it for just like £37. And if you've got a room full of, say, 100 people, and you'll get at least 90% of them, the way I'll teach you how to do it, paying the 37 quid for the backup audio CD that's only cost you a quid to run off. You've got 90 lots of £36 sterling. You've just made a hell of a lot of money in a couple of hours in one evening. And you can do that even during the COVID crisis over the internet via Zoom. I'm going to teach you how. Yes, I'm dangling you there a nested loop for tomorrow, so you know that we're going to learn stuff of value. But let me tell you, you already are learning if you're paying attention. Because this truly is how I've been so successful. Since the age of 14 to now, I'm 44 and a bit. 30 years. For 30 years, I've treated thousands of people around the world. For nearly 30 years, because it'll be a bit later this year. That'll be my 30th year as a stage hypnotist, and I didn't start doing that till I was 15 years old. And again, lying about my age, saying I was 18. Although you could argue I was doing stage hypnosis when I was 14, because I was going to local groups and giving entertaining lecture demonstrations of the power of the mind in order to attract hypnotherapy clients. Something I'll teach you the tricks of over the next few days. So I listened to the 3 audio tapes. Yes, we're back on track. I read the 67-page manual, and what I learned was this. Now bear in mind, I had to listen to 3 90-minute audio cassettes, which is 4.5 hours of audio learning, and I had to read the manual, which, let's say, it took 2 hours to read twice. 6.5 hours. We've been on this training now for, according to my clock, 1 hour and 5 minutes, 65 minutes. By the time I've told you what I'm going to tell you, it'll be roughly 10 past. So in 1 hour and 10 minutes, you will have learned what took me at least 6.5 hours to study, because it boiled down to this. I promise you it did. I'm sorry I keep looking at that camera. Tomorrow I might experiment with, or in this next session I might experiment with not having the preview screen visible to me. Anyway, what did I learn? What I learned was this, okay? The manual contained the following. It contained a script for a progressive relaxation. That's the slow, boring, long-winded, stereotypical hypnotic induction where you get somebody to stare at a light, and as you stare at that white bright light, notice all the little muscles around your eyes becoming so heavy. Oh, and so tired. All the little muscle groups, like knots tied together, all those stresses, tensions, worries, fears and apprehensions of days and weeks gone by, about to leave your mind and leave your body now as you imagine untying the knots in your mind, and as you do, those knots untie and become separate pieces of rope, so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy, so tired. As you see that light moving in towards you, then out, away from you. As your eyes get so heavy, so tired, just letting your heavy eyes closed, and all that kind of bullshit. Until they get bored shitless probably, and close their eyes, and then they're hypnotized. So there was a script for doing that. There was then a script for deepening the trance state. Oh yes, deepening the trance state, which was basically counting them backwards from 10 down to 1. I'm going to count backwards from 10 down to 1. And on each descending number from 10 down to 1, we're going to take another step down that staircase of relaxation in your mind's eye into the world of your dreams and your imagination. As with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say and every thought that you think, it merely serves as a sign and a signal to help you relax more completely with each second that passes by. And on 10 and 9, taking those first steps down that staircase, and you realise that with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, every thought that you think, you just drift down, sinking down deeper and deeper and deeper. And all that bullshit, counting backwards from 10 down to 1. And there was a script for that, the deepening. So, actually there was a script for getting rapport, inducing the trance, deepening the trance. Then there was a script for ego strengthening therapy. This was a script about, oh, you're now so deeply relaxed, so deeply asleep. That's wonderful, you're such a wonderful person. You're using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration so effectively. And just so long as you keep using your powers of mind so effectively, that as I talk to your unconscious now, an embedded command there, you're unconscious now, consciously is taken that I'm talking to your unconscious, but your unconscious, subconscious mind arguably takes it as your unconscious, meaning out of it, a metaphor for being hypnotised. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, who cares? But just thought I'd point it out. So there were scripts for get rapport, induce the trance, deepen the trance, ego strengthening therapy, buttering them up, making them feel good, increasing their self-esteem, self-confidence, self-image, self-control, aka willpower. All things that were immensely important. They are the keys to everything, as you will learn tonight, definitely. So induce the get rapport, induce the trance, deepen trance, ego strengthening therapy. There were scripts for different types of therapy. There was a smoking cessation script. There was a weight loss, weight management script. There was a confidence script. There was a script for driving test nerves, asthma, stress, anxiety, and a whole bunch of other things, okay? There were scripts to read. Then there was a script for the major post-hypnotic suggestion, which was effectively to tell them that from this moment forward, every day in every way, each morning when you awaken, you'll awaken with an inner warm glow of confidence, a renewed optimism to life, a more positive attitude to get things done. And you'll find that with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that you hear people say, or every thought that you think of your everyday life, everything will just serve as an automatic sign and signal to your unconscious mind to take all of the suggestions and work we've done here together today and make it 100 times more positive, powerful, and permanently beneficial for you in every way, shape and form. And you'll find that each and every time you listen to the audio cassette tape that I give you to listen to, that you'll listen to it every day for the next 28 days. And each and every time you do, it will be just as effective. In fact, it'll be 100 times more effective than if I was there with you in the room at the time. And that was roughly the gist of it. And then there was a script for awakening them from the trance by counting from 1 to 10. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. On the count of 10 and only on the count of 10, you'll instantly be wide awake. Everything I've said to you will remain with you and go stronger, more positive and beneficial for you every day in every way, with every thought that you think, every breath that you take, and every stimulus around you in your everyday life, making it more positive for you and beneficial in every way. 1, 2, 3. Every nerve, fibre, tissue and muscle in your body from the tips of your toes being washed with pure spring water, almost as if you're being revitalised, re-energised in every atom of your being. 4, 5 and 6. All those stresses, tensions, worries, fears, apprehensions of days, weeks, months and years gone by, leaving your mind and leaving your body right now. Is on 7 and 8, lighter and brighter, starting to come back to us. 9, almost there, and on 10, wakey, wakey, rise and shine, open your eyes, you're back in the room. And yes, I do it that cheesily for reasons I will explain. If you don't do it that way now, I guarantee you'll get better results when you do, and I'll explain why shortly. So in that manual was the script for the Get Rapport, Induce the Trance, Deepen the Trance, Ego Strengthening Therapy, various different therapies, major post-hypnotic, and awakening them from trance. Points 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7 remained the same for every session. The only thing that changed was number 5, the therapy. You either used the smoking script or the weight loss script. You used your common sense, you used the relevant script, okay? Now I knew at that time that limited me. I could only do smoking, weight loss, confidence, driving test nerves, asthma, stress, anxieties, worries, and some basic phobias, because that's the only things I had scripts for. And I too was a deluded fuckwit who thought you had to go on different courses for different techniques, for different issues, when in actual fact, when you've been taught properly, you know how to deal with everything as you will by the end of these 4 days. But forgive my ignorance at the time, I was only 14. How was I supposed to know better? I wasn't there to teach me then. You're more fortunate. So, what I did was this. I realised something. I thought, it's not going to look very good if people know I'm just reading scripts. Okay? Although it did suggest to do that in the APHP course. And those who are members of my Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp can actually go in the Bootcamp members area, click on where it says Original Hypnosis Course, and there's a PDF of the exact manual I got when I was 13 years of age, because I bought the company. I was so impressed by it. If you're not in the Bootcamp, I'm sure you'll feel that desire to join increasing over the next 4 days, and then you'll be able to check it out. That's just a joke, by the way. Seriously though, I thought I don't want them to see me reading a script, because that's going to seem a bit like, well, anyone can read. So thanks to having learnt about linguistic trickery, sleight of hand and outright lying through magic and show business already, I very quickly came up with this phrase, and this is what I did. This is how I did my first ever therapy clients. Again, I'm looking at the wrong camera, I was. Sorry. Learning experience for me, this is a way of doing seminars. My first sessions, and certainly for the first 12 to 18 months, until I was about 16 years of age, this is how I treated all of my clients. Okay? I'd go with a briefcase. And the justification for the briefcase, I went to their homes, by the way, at the time. The reason I did that was because I didn't want to pay for an office. And no one would have rented me an office then. So I figured I'd take that negative and make it an advantage and say, in the comfort, privacy and safety of your own home, the mobile therapist comes to you, and that this is more effective than going to see a therapist in their office, because you're in an environment where you already feel calm, safe and secure. Now, I know there's exceptions to that. Domestic violence victims, for example. We're not dwelling now, I'm talking generalities. Now, generalities mean that we're putting people and tarring people with the same brush, but we're doing it here with positive intent, because there's nothing that works 100% of the time with 100% of the people. So we just need to stack the law of averages in our favour as much as we can. So I showed up with the briefcase. My reason for that was when I opened it, I took out the portable tape recorder. And I had an extension lead in there as well, so I could plug it in, told them it was to record the session. And it was. That's the backup audio tape I spoke about before that I gave them. It was recorded there during the session, so that when I said to them, now John, close your eyes, or now Janet, relax more, they'd hear their name on the tape. I've done away with that now, as you'll learn as the course goes on, but that's what I did then. But it meant that inside the case was my folder with my scripts in. Now, by scripts, I mean Get Rapport, Well, that one I'd remember, because I'll come to that later. Induce the trance, deepen the trance, ego strengthening, the post-hypnotic and the awakening, and I'd put in whichever therapy was relevant. Could I make up, you know, I'd make up, photocopy, multiple copies, so I could have one linked together for smoking if I had a smoking client that day, but I'd have one also ready that was for weight loss if I had a weight loss client that day. So it saved faffing around between sessions. So I didn't have to flick through all the other therapy scripts, if that makes sense. It was nice and clean, kept it simple. So, I'd get rapport, and getting rapport is as simple as this. As long as you have advertised right, or they're booking you because they've seen you in the media, so they already believe you, but we'll talk about marketing, advertising, publicity and promotion and getting yourself on the map on day 4. As long as that's been structured right, they believe in you before you arrive with them, or before they arrive with you at your office, or before they log on online for the virtual online session or whatever. 99% of the work's already done when you do it as I will teach you over the coming days. The rest is ritual. The rest is time killing. The rest is to give them a justifiable, logical, rational, reasoning excuse to believe that they've gone through something that allows them to change and do something that frankly they could have always done, which is something we'll talk more about after because I've just looked at the time, it's 9:20, nearly break time, that we'll talk about in the second part of this evening. Getting rapport was as simple as this. I knew their name before I got there because they told me when they booked. And I would go, "Hi, nice to meet you, John," or "Nice to meet you, Jana." The customary, in England at least, some countries in the world, that might be deemed offensive when you've only just met somebody, but handshake. And if they put down their name was John Davidson, let's say. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Davidson. Or is it okay if I call you John?" And they would, because of the environment, pretty much recurring, say, "Yeah, it's fine, call me John." But I'd immediately follow that up with this statement, very powerful. I'd say, "Oh, nice one, John. Can I just ask, is that what your friends and family call you? Or do they shorten it, lengthen it? What do your friends and family call you, John?" And you might just say it's John, or "No, they call me Johnny Boy," or "They call me Dickhead." You know, he might be a builder, and his mates are brickies, and they go to the pub, and he calls one of them wanker chops. They call him Dickhead. It doesn't matter. But whatever they say, don't seem surprised, don't laugh at them, obviously. That could make them feel not so good. Go, "Oh, okay, excellent, John. So if your friends and family call you Billy the Pirate," I'm taking the piss here on purpose, "if your friends and family call you Billy the Pirate, would it be okay if I call you Billy the Pirate today?" And I would literally point at them like that. I'm kind of doing the body language. "Would it be okay that I call you Billy the Pirate like your friends and family do?" And eyeball them, and they'll say, invariably, it's very rare it happens, they'll anything other than them saying yes. The moment they said yes, if they say no, it's fine, you just say, "Okay, I'll call you John then." But 99% of the time recurring, they will, especially because of the body language, which you can watch again on the replay, you kind of force them into it. The moment they say consciously yes, you can call them what their family and friends call them. They are consciously letting you have the same level of trust and rapport as their long-term family and friends. And that one sentence, that one question used like that, and getting that acceptance is more powerful, I tell you from experience, than all this bullshit about mirroring and matching body language and spending ages to get to know the client before you get down to doing the hypnotherapeutic work. Get them to agree to let you call them what their family or friends do, and immediately they're consciously accepting you on the same trust and rapport level as their family and friends, which means, boom, trust resistance issues out the window because they've given themselves a massive hypnotic command, arguably. So I do that. That, by the way, wasn't in the APHP manual. That's something I learnt the roots of in phraseology from old books on mentalism and mind reading from the magic arena. So I brought that and bring that to the table, as it were. I then cut to the chase because I don't need to know that much about what's wrong with them. They've told me on the phone. Why would I want to be bored shitless hearing them talk about their boring, pathetic life that meant that they're paying me money, a mere human being who knows a few psychological party tricks, but can present them in a manner where I'm an apparently confident authority figure with some credibility and good at marketing to make them believe in what is really just a lucky charm of the placebo effect, and a bit more besides that we'll go into in the second part this evening. I don't want to listen to their boring fucking lives, do I, fuck? No. I want my money. Back then I wanted my money and to be gone. I mean, now it doesn't matter because I got the money up front. That'll come when we come to marketing. So I cut to the chase. I already knew their issues. I say, okay, go and either sit down or lie down on your couch, your sofa, whatever makes you feel comfortable. That's giving them an instruction, but giving them an element of apparent choice. It's one or the other. Chair or couch. Sit or lie down. They've got to do one of them, so they are obeying your command, but it appears to give them some choice. Also, it means that they do that which they feel most comfortable with, which is good because we want them to feel comfortable, because in this next bit, when we do the induction, them feeling comfortable, calm and relaxed is going to help them believe they're being hypnotised. I would then say, okay, John, or, Barry the Pirate, or whatever his nickname was. Okay, Barry the Pirate, now's the time for you to just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then out through your mouth. In through your nose. And then out through your mouth. And continue breathing deeply and regularly in through your nose. And then out through your mouth. And now just close your eyes. Literally just close your eyes down, Barry the Pirate, John, whatever they're called. Just close your eyes down. And I came up with this phrase. This I invented. I've never seen this in any books except recent books that have stolen it from me. Some of them with credit. They're okay. Others just buy stuff and put it out there. And don't give credit. And the phrase is this. The moment he closes his eyes, which he's not hypnotised at the minute, or is he? We'll have that argument later. But he's closed his eyes physically, voluntarily, consensually, at a conscious level. Once his eyes are closed, or hers, I say to him or her, okay, Barry the Pirate, just so long as you keep your eyes tightly closed at all times unless I say otherwise, and just so long as you continue to use your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively, then our work here together over the next hour will prove to be 1,000,000% successful for you. Nod your head if you understand. And they will consciously do that. Once they have, if they for any reason open their eyes, it's their fucking fault that the session doesn't work. If they don't do exactly what you tell them, it's their fucking fault. All the pressure is off you. They have consciously accepted that they have to keep their eyes closed at all times, and they have to use their powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively for this to be 1,000,000% successful for them. It means all the onus is on them for it to work, but also it means you can be relaxed and not worried. It also means that they'll keep their bloody eyes closed, which is great, because then they won't see you go into your briefcase and take out the scripts, which is exactly what I did. And then I read the induction, the deepener, the ego strengthening therapy script, the therapy that was relevant, the major post-hypnotic suggestion I've already mentioned, and then the awakening script. But on the awakening script, once I got to the number 7, I put the script away, because guess what? I could remember what to say for numbers 8, 9 and 10. And that way there was no script visible when the people opened their eyes and came back in the room. And remember that in that awakening script, I added, this is a sentence I added, those who are in the boot camp now, or who join over the next few days at the dramatic discount that's in the members group, will see that this sentence is what I added to the awakening. And that is, near the end when I go, well, right near the beginning when I say, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. On the count of 10 and only on the count of 10, then and only then, you can open your eyes. Now that isn't a hypnotic suggestion saying their eyes are locked together till the count of 10, but some of them might perceive it that way, that's fine if they want to. But what it's saying is, just as you've kept your eyes closed to make this work, just as you've had to use your intelligence, imagination and concentration for it to work, so you've got to keep your eyes closed till the count of bloody 10. That makes sure you've got your script put away before they open their eyes. It also means the more compliant they are all the way through, the more they believe they've been hypnotised because they've done what the hypnotist said, and thus they buy into more this scenario and belief system and perception that you have hypnotised them, altered their mind state and done something that will help them. Which, as I will explain after the break we're shortly going to have, is complete and utter fucking bullshit. That's not why it works, but if they want to believe it, it will amplify the positivity of the real reasons why it does work, which we'll explain after the break. So then I would have woken them up, and in those days, when I started off, then I'd get the money and leave after giving them the cassette tape. I very quickly learned that it was a bit awkward at the end, because they were a bit, because a lot of them had actually fallen to sleep for reasons I'll explain after the break. And I mean not hypnotic sleep, no. I mean sleep. But I told them that meant they were really hypnotised. And I'll explain how that worked to their benefit, my benefit, and your benefit, okay, when we've had a... Oh no, I've got 3 or 4 more minutes yet till break time, so I will tell you this. And that is that then I very quickly started showing up, and the first thing I'd do before getting rapport was say, gypsy fortune tellers, when they go get a client, would say to them, cross my palm with silver. Nobody likes talking about money, so let's get it out of the way now. That'll be, and back then that'll be 30 quid please. These days, that'll be £500 please, because I won't see anyone for less than £500 sterling for a single session. And often I'll charge way more, as I'll explain on Sunday, because not all clients are equal. The more money they've got, the more you charge them. But we'll cover that later in the course. First you need to know what to do with them so they feel that they have got value for money. And the key is feelings are not reality. Feelings are just thoughts that create sensation in the body, positive or negative. And if that feeling that their thoughts create is positive, and they positively feel and think they got value for money and it's worked for them, then it has worked for them. It becomes their self-fulfilling prophecy, and they will believe they've got value for money. For some people, you can achieve that by charging them just 100 quid. For other people, clients who are multi-millionaires, if you don't charge them at least several £1,000s for the session, there's more chance they will relapse, because 100 quid or a few hundred quid's pocket change to them. It's got to have attached a value to what you're doing so that they buy into it when they come and see you. 9:30 p.m. on my watch. I know it may not be for everyone, but it is on my watch, and we're going off my watch. So we're going to have a 15-minute maximum break, which means we're starting at 9:45 p.m. prompt. Please go to the toilets, refresh your glasses, go outside, take some drugs if you're having a nervous breakdown because you don't like swear words like cunt, twat, or you're offended by words or don't know what they mean like felching, fisting, on various things, because those words will be coming up again over the course of the next few days because you'll be using them in your therapy sessions. Yes, you will. I'll explain all in 15 minutes. That's end of session 1.